Hey, good evening. So last week, of course, we're talking about the third chakra, that's the solar plexus. Okay, so here's the energy of the third chakra, right? The discipline, willpower, etc. Right? I'm going to illustrate it by taking a little drink, right? Not bad. Care for some more? No, thanks. I think I've had enough. What about the energy of the second chakra, right? The sexual center. Let me illustrate by means of this glass of water. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, that is so good. Oh God.
Oh, Jesus.
Mm.
Okay.
Oh, that was delicious. Leah, could you
Well, I'm
introduce
already
yourself a little bit
blushing.
for
This
me?
is
I
not
have to
going
change now.
well.
That is how.
I'm already
Luckily, I have an
blushing.
identical dark shirt right nearby. Leah, don't be distracted by this nonsense. Go ahead. Our viewers
I'm
are
going
watching.
through 50 shades of blush right now. My
Our
God.
Okay.
I really should
Well,
have
what are
worn
we
some
doing here?
makeup. Oh, God. Okay.
Hair and makeup
Everybody calm down.
next.
Jesus. Hello. You all didn't know you were going to get that type of entertainment tonight, did you?
Haven't they become accustomed to that level of entertainment from us? No.
Okay. Oh, my
Okay.
God. All right, thank you for everyone that stayed.
That's good. That's class. Good night.
Thank you for everyone that stayed through that demonstration. All right, well,
We're off. Yeah.
good job, hurrah.
I'm
Okay,
I'm Dr. Astar Bear, and this is
hello
Leah Schaefer, of course, and we're here every week
everyone.
doing our live stream class and meditation, usually with shirts on, though we do have, requests and things, but ignore those. How
Yeah,
can we bring this energy into our lives, Leah, right? The energy that
yeah.
just like enjoyment, right?
I mean, you brought it right now.
Keep watching, my friends. That's how you bring it into your life.
All right, and sometimes people give you the energy. You don't have to do a thing. It's true. Oh, man, all right. Let's see if I can concentrate after that. So, let's actually okay, let's get on let's teach people something. So, what were you gonna say a minute ago? Did you have
Well,
something?
you
Did I
know,
interrupt
we
you?
it's very distracting, right? Like what I did, distracting, right? Because, and that's like the energy that we're talking about here, right? It's incredibly, like compelling, right? It's captivating
Mhm,
because hey, guess what?
mhm.
Pleasure feels good, like we don't have to tell you that, right? You
It's already so
You've
much
already got a
better.
lot of signals telling you that, right? Like, so nobody needs to say like this is good. Like our main concern a lot of times with the second chakra, with the sexual energy, is not letting it get out of control, right? I mean, like that's
Yeah.
a lot of our focus. I mean, like, and we have so many different things that like keep it under control, right? I mean, like civilization, right? Like civilization is a lot about, hey, let's keep this under control, like the rules and the customs and the norms and whatever that we follow. I mean, just starting with like wearing clothes, right? Like, or, manners and how we relate to each other. And, like there's so much there and it's important, like don't let us say it's not important. It is, right? But like, we
Right.
want to experience that energy. Okay, there's a difference between the energy and the, whatever crazy behaviors you think I'm talking about, right? Like we're not talking about behaviors, right? We're talking about the energy, right? The energy of abundance, the energy of
Mm,
creativity, energy
yes.
of expression, the energy of pleasure,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. And of course, there's many different ways that could manifest, and stop thinking about that one. That's enough of that, damn it.
Yeah, so it's very much a yes energy. The second chakra, the sacral chakra, the sexual chakra is a yes energy. And so you I really like the phrase "yes, and." It's like one of my things that I'm really into these days,
Hmm.
because it keeps things open, you know? It's like everybody, you know, just on a whole 'nother level, like, everybody has all these different opinions, like, you go into a workplace or something, and you have, like, a lot of different opinions going on. You go home, you have a lot of different opinions going on, right? And,
Right.
I definitely get stuck in this tendency, or I did for a long time, of what's right and what's wrong, what's black and white, right? Like, I'm right. My opinion's right, right? That's like where our head goes. And so, but that is very actually very stifling to creativity, or it can be anyway. It can be really stifling to creativity. And so, like this idea of yes and gives you the opportunity to allow creativity to continue to flow.
Yeah.
Second chakra is also, reading the note, involved in creating creative writing. Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, it's very much a creative center. Um,
Any kind of creative expression, I mean, talking. I mean, like, what is creativity? What is creative, right? I mean,
mhm,
this is any expression is creative, right? I mean, like
yeah,
the way you move is a creative expression, right? I mean, like there's just so
yeah,
much to it, right? But of course, it gets taken to another level when you really think about, well, what am I creating? What am I expressing?
mhm,
What is my voice? What am I giving to the world, right?
mhm.
And the
And
pleasure
I
of.
think, yeah, and I think that a lot of time with this concept of pleasure and enjoyment, it's something that we seek out a lot, and I think I wanna note that it is a creative center, and things such as enjoyment, things such as happiness are things that we can actually create ourselves. And I think that that's one of the most empowering things I've learned about the creative process. Creating happiness is something we can do on a regular basis. And like with the people that we love, we can create situations that create more happiness with each other. And I find that the best way to do that is through allowing love energy to continually move through your body and through your system and through your chakra systems, love energy. So what we tend to do, in addition to inhibiting Asatar was talking about how much we inhibit ourselves. Our body constantly inhibits ourselves as well. Like physiologically speaking, our body's constantly inhibiting itself. And in fact, a lot of times when we do like a drug or something, that's what happens physiologically is it uninhibits us. Especially like alcohol is like it just is an uninhibitor. Um, and what happens when we're uninhibited, right? Like so much more joy, so much more happiness can just stream through us. It's like we don't get stuck in like this whole like heady concept of like our identity and whatever the hell is going burdening us at the time. Um, and
Just
so
to be
and
clear, we're
so,
not
yeah.
saying do a bunch of drugs, guys. We're saying that happiness is within you.
No, no, I'm
Yeah.
saying what I am saying though is that you can learn how to uninhibit your own love, your own joy through your breathing practices, and that's what we're going to work on tonight.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was like my cue, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm missing cues left and right up here. It's probably
No, I
because
mean, unless you have something else you want to say or add, it's all welcome.
that's the kind of show that we run. It's an improv operation at its heart. We say yes and. That's what
Yes, and
that was great, and I only have a few things I want to add.
yeah, yeah, yeah. More the
Um,
merrier. Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's so often the case where we become like too serious, right? And we're like focus on our goals, be productive. If you're enjoying it, it's not work. Like you ever think that one? I
Right.
mean, like these are
Yeah.
all like big messages in our culture. That's just like you know, and they're anti kind of life messages, right? They're like anti this energy that we're talking about. Um, and that's a huge downer. You know, like what's
Yeah.
like why
Yeah.
should we enjoy our work, right? As long as we get it
Mhm.
done, right? I mean, isn't that the main thing? Like if you can enjoy it, what a bonus, you know? Um, and what
Right.
stops us from doing it? I mean, a lot of times it's structures, like the work is
Yeah,
unpaid,
seriously.
or, like it's dangerous needlessly or whatever, right? I mean, there's all kinds of reasons that work
Mhm.
can suck, right? But like some of them come from within us, right? I'm not gonna say all of them because that's not the case, right? But some of them come from within us, And what if we let those go? What if we stopped maintaining
Mhm.
the like
Mhm.
this sucks energy, right? And like started
Yeah.
be like, you know what? Um, you know, every activity has something in it that's positive, right? And might have a lot of negatives too. But like, what if we focused on that right now? So, there is power in that, right? And a lot of
Mhm.
times we don't feel that though, right? Because we're like, our minds are so strong, right? What if we can shift the energy lower,
Yeah.
So we're
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, and it's also so true, like, that, it the different activities that would, stimulate the sexual center
Okay.
will bring people back into their body. Like, so that is something that is, like, Asatar and I talk about embodiment a lot, okay? And because most of our culture, we are very much stuck in our head, and we don't actually know how to bring that energy down into our body, okay? And so, that is one way that people really frequently get back into their body, and but they don't necessarily have other ways to do that. And so we're gonna help you with that with your own breath tonight. So
Mhm.
hurrah.
All right. Well, let's start it out. I guess. Yeah. Let's get it going. So take a good upright posture, right? And as you want something that is going to be where your knees are level with your hips, or maybe slightly lower. That makes it possible to sit in an upright fashion and not have to exert a huge amount of energy. Um, you're going to have to exert some, right? The muscles of your core are what keep you upright here. But we want to just try to do the minimum. So focus on, are you leaning too far forward, leaning too far back, leaning to one side or the other? Try to just really feel like that there's a line, in the center of your body, and just try to make that vertical. To feel like a string is pulling up just the very top of your head, and everything is just lining up within you. And now focus on your breath. So you can take your hand and just place it on your belly and feel your belly gently rising and falling as you breathe. And just shift your attention to your belly and allow your belly to open and expand as you breathe in, and then contract and get smaller as you breathe out. A lot of times our energy is high, we're up in our heads, we're thinking about how things should be, or how we're afraid they might be, or how we hope they might turn out, and we don't stay with what is happening now. And as you shift your breath to your belly, your energy descends and you come more into your body. Just feel the process of breathing with your hand on your belly. Now, we'd also like to make the breath slow. So, as you exhale, now squeeze your abdominal muscles and just draw out the breath. Just breathe out more than you normally would. And as you breathe in, just control that inhalation so you don't just let it all in right away, but just try to even it out so that the flow of your breath is the same throughout your longer breath. So we're making our breath deep and slow. And we're also making it even. So these are three interventions that we're making in the breath. It's difficult to remember to breathe differently than how you breathe, right? That's like remembering to talk differently or walk differently or something, right? You have a long established habit of breathing. So by breathing differently, you are having to concentrate, you're having to focus. But you also have something that's very clear and easy to tell. Like, have you stopped focusing on it? Have you forgotten to breathe, maybe? It's very common for us to pause in the breath, right? So notice you doing that and you have your hand on your belly to help you. We want the breath to be deep, slow, even. And we also want the breath to be rhythmic. So we want the inhalation and the exhalation to be the same length and the same intensity. And we can do that by focusing on our heartbeat, breathing in the same number of beats as we breathe out. And it may be helpful here to place a hand on your chest and feel your heart. As you breathe in, your heart is receiving energy. And as you breathe out, your heart is expressing energy. And we want to connect that, right? We want to, our view is that the heart chakra is the master chakra. It is the energy center that contains and holds all the other energy centers. So, including that sexual center, right? That center of pleasure and creativity and abundance, that center of flow, right? Where things can be easy, right? Pleasure is easy. You don't have to think about it. No one has to explain to you why it's good or why you should do it. No, you already know why you want to do it because it feels amazing, right? So this is an energy that flows, right? It flows so strongly that we worry that it'll get out of control. And this is why we need a strong breath, right? To be with this energy and not like get drunk on it or whatever, right? Not like get not lose control, right? If we're going to lose control, we want it to be at the time and place that is of our choosing, right? There are times to lose control. Like they say in that movie, The Fast and the Furious, Tokyo Drift. That's about like when your car goes sideways and you slide. They said of that, they said, if you're not out of control, you're not in control. I always appreciated that. Very paradoxical, right? There are times when it's vital to lose control, but we again we want to be in control the rest of the time, right? So feel the connection between this, right? Your heart loves to receive. Let your heart receive happiness, pleasure, that energy of abundance. And let your heart radiate that creativity, your own unique voice, your expression, that gift that you have to give the world. We long to give, don't we? But if we don't give it, it holds us back. We don't feel the enjoyment of giving our gift. Use your breath and just tune in, right? Tune into that energy which is in the second chakra, that is located right where the genitals are located. No surprise there, right? Now breathe into that area. And as you breathe in, allow the breath to rise up your spine to the center of your chest, your heart center. Just feel these centers are connected. Breathe out and radiate your creative expression from your heart. Life gives us so many gifts. Life rains down on us blessings. But how often do we overlook them? How often do we take them for granted? How often do we experience something amazing and don't even pay attention to it? This is what I mean by tuning in. Think of all the things that gave you pleasure today. Just hold them in your mind. And as you breathe in, take in the energy of all of that abundance, all of that joy, all of that pleasure. Now, of course, I'm not talking about just sexual pleasure here, right? You experience that? Good, fantastic, right? I'm talking about anything that could, it could be a pen that you enjoy writing with, right? Anything, any kind of pleasure, right? Has that same energy. Take that in and just savor it. And as you breathe out, just spread your energy to the world. Let your voice be heard. Let your energy be expressed. We long to give to the world, to the universe, to others. We long to receive. There must be a balance, just as there's a balance in our breath, right? We're making our breath even to experience that balance, right? And also making it bigger. We're using our abdominal muscles to take in more breath. So take in more of all that is good, all that makes you happy, all that creates pleasure. Drink deeply, just like I did from the water of this pleasure. It's so good, isn't it? And breathe out and express your uniqueness. All right, we'll end our meditation there. So move your body and experience the pleasure of being able to move once more.
Yeah. Mm. That was very grounding. Thank you so much. Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that came up whenever you did that meditation was just this thought of when you were talking about the longing, I think that people experience that longing a lot and they don't really know what to turn to in order to allow the abundance of life, the enjoyment of life to be able to actually be experienced within their bodies, and
Yeah,
within themselves. And that's the reason we do turn to, things that, addictive behaviors that are not actually good for us, right? Like they're like most of us, at least a lot of people I know anyway, And I know, like, I watch it. I watch these things with myself often, of just like when we're in pain, or sometimes it feels like there's like a wet blanket over our heart or something like that, and we just feel crushed. And it's very difficult in those times to know how to love life, honestly. It's one of these things where the rubber meets the road in learning how to love all parts of life. So there is always, even through the worst pain, and believe you me, like, I've gone through lots. Even through the worst pain, there is always a burning life that wants to live inside of you and through you, and you can turn that pain into beauty, and that's a lot of times what artists do. Is they completely turn the pain on its head, and create beauty, through that pain. Like, my housemate, he is a ballerina, and he talks about that constantly. Like, look beautiful, and like, but you're in so much freaking pain, like, the whole time. But those of us that, like, we haven't discovered our art form yet, or we don't really realize that everything is art, when it comes down to it. Um, we can turn to addictive behaviors and kind of self-sabotage. It's almost like an exacerbation of the pain. And if
Mhm.
you're struggling with that, I just want you to know, like, if you strengthen your sexual center, if you strengthen your second chakra, it's going to help move. It's going to help move that energy, and it's going to help you be able to, like, open up back to life and the abundance of life, in a way where you don't have to do something that's going to end up being a self-sabotage. And I'm not talking about being, like, finicky. I'm talking about when it crosses that line, when you actually know you're hurting yourself in one way or another.
Yeah.
um yeah. And so learning these meditations will help you, to be able to open back up to your love of life again, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things I think about is like, this process of like inhibiting all of this energy, right? That we're talking about. And I feel like one of the ways that that sometimes happens for people, or it's kind of like in our culture too, right? Is it says like, you don't deserve this, right? I
Right.
mean, like when you
Yep.
get something, that's good, right? And there's a part of you that's like, I don't know, I don't deserve this, right? Like, and so you're holding it back, you
You
know,
block it.
yeah, you're
Mhm.
blocking it to some extent, right? Even if it's like still happening, but you're not fully savoring it, let's say, right? Because there's a part of you that's just like, well, I just don't deserve this, because I'm bad and wrong, and da 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 da, right? Like I know this issue well because it's one I struggle with, Um,
Yeah.
but I think, I
Mhm.
mean, not everyone does, but I think it's common enough, like we have kind of a
Very
category,
common.
you know. Um,
Yeah, I don't think it's conscious. Like, I don't think people realize that they do it. But yeah, no, it's super common, what you're describing to happen to people, where on some subconscious level, it's like you don't actually believe you're worthy of happiness or that you're worthy of love, and you don't think you're good enough to create these things for yourself. And so what do? You just block it off, like, when it starts to come towards you, because all that fear of unworthiness starts to come up inside of you.
you
And
might,
yeah.
sorry, if you
No, that's it. That's it.
what you might notice this as you work with your breath, right? Because you breathe in and you're receiving, right? You breathe out and you're giving, like in the practice that we went through, right? So, do you experience pain when you take in that energy to your heart, right?
Mm,
Is that the time where you say, oh, well, I don't know, maybe I'm not getting anything from my meditation, or I don't like this, or this hurts, or on an inner level, right, or whatever,
mhm.
because that is so often how it is, right? And this is
Yeah.
exactly what it was for me, like I started to experience like this incredible, unlimited abundance of
Yeah.
energy falling on me like rain. And I was like, it was a very hard for me to take in, you know? I mean, like, I found it overwhelming. I mean, but, you know, like, you keep on working at it and keep on experiencing it, and a lot of this stuff moves, you know? Like, you say, "Oh, I'm not worthy," but then you say, "Well, I don't," it's sort of still keep on happening, you know? And, like, maybe,
Yeah.
maybe this isn't a thing you can earn anyway, right? Like, do
Yeah.
you earn love, you know? You don't, right? I mean, like, you're loved, it's on some other basis, you know? You don't say, "Oh,
Mhm.
hey, you know, you put in the time and now I love you." No, not quite how it works, right?
One,
That's,
2, 3.
yeah, you earn money, right? But
1, 2, 3, check.
yeah.
That's how it works. Yeah.
So if you feel like you haven't earned it, great, you haven't, you know, nobody has.
Oh my god.
Not that's not the category.
Hey.
You
Yeah,
don't
no,
deserve,
it's just it's
but
always
you're gonna have
there.
it
It's
anyway.
always there.
What do you think of that?
Well, I know, and it's always there. One of the things that I thought of when you were talking was I read this quote today about when you first love is like water underneath the ground. And when you first start digging for it, what are you gonna hit first? You're gonna hit the mud. That's what you're gonna
Yeah,
hit first. And so you have to go you have to go deep to get that pure water and that pure love. And it's so true. I'm in the dating world, and every time I get excited about somebody, all the stuff in the deep gets drummed up. It's all like boom, 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 boom. It's just like mud everywhere. It's a freaking mess, I'm telling you. And that's part of the second center energy, and that's part of the creative energy is like it is a mess, and
that's a good
you have
point,
to
yeah.
kind of stick with it. Like, you have to keep digging, you have to stick with it, you have to keep digging, to get that finished product, whatever it's gonna be, and to really reach those parts of you where that stream is clear and where that stream is running clear.
Absolutely. I hate to follow up on the heels of that beautiful commentary by just saying to our viewers, because we get this occasionally as a question, Leah and I are not dating. Okay, that's not. So stop asking us that anyway. But,
It's so funny.
it's a mess,
Um,
right? I think that's the point I want to follow up on, though. You know, this is not
yeah,
an energy that's all controlled, right? That's the third
no,
center, right? That's the side that's where
no,
you start to control energy, right?
yeah,
Because that's the center that's about that, right? This is
yeah,
about opening the floodgates, right? I mean,
and
like
it's
that.
playful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Playful, messy, you know, like
yeah.
a game where the rules might change, you know, and that's okay, right? That's part of it, right? Like,
Yeah, I always tell people, get curious, it's like one of those things where there's a certain level of like releasing the expectations when you're just getting curious or you're just exploring something. And I like to give myself permission that it is going to be a mess.
it's gonna be a mess,
Because,
folks. You know,
yeah, more fun
love.
that
I've
way.
never seen a clean case of that, you know? Like that's I never experienced a clean one
Yeah,
myself, you know? But
yeah.
it's a good
Yes.
mess. Life's a mess, you know?
Life
So,
is a mess.
yeah,
Yeah, and you gotta love all parts of it. Like, that's the thing.
right.
And that's what people with a lot of second center energy or sexual energy or sacral energy have, is they have this like love of life, right? Like, I always kind of think of like the mama in the kitchen, like, just like getting all the foods ready and being like, here you go. There's
Yeah.
like a proliferation of life, and artists are like this. Artists are just like, they have to create. They're just, they have to get stuff out of them, and through them. And
How about
so,
this how about this comment we just got here? Leah?
like this podcast,
We do try to
thank
have a
you.
good time, you know? I mean, that's
Thank
important.
you. Yes.
Yes, and
Yes. Oh my gosh. So I guess let's do another meditation unless there's something you want to say.
no, let's do it, right? I
Let's
mean,
meditate.
so I just wanna say, like, to connect this thing we're talking about mess and,
Hmm.
you know, whatever, you know, this is, like, not, like, where the boundaries come in, right? This is The boundaries,
Right.
that's the third chakra, right? That's the solar plexus, right? Because boundaries are us saying no, you know? And so important, right? And sometimes you
Mhm.
need that, right? You need boundaries sometimes to
Mhm.
experience pleasure, right? To know, like, okay, hey, this is how far this is going to go, or whatever, or this is, this is what I'm saying
Mhm.
yes to. I'm saying no to these other things, right?
Yeah,
That's very important. So, we're not saying like, all the chakras have like their place, right? All of these energies
exactly.
are very important, right? Um, so we're just pointing out that they're different, right? That's really all we care about right here, right? That this is a different energy. This is saying yes, you know. It's not saying no, it's saying yes. So
Mhm.
that's I just want to bring that up.
All right. So, yeah, absolutely, because you know what? All of the whole thing, this
The
is
whole
one
chakra system.
the whole thing, you, all of you, the whole you is one freaking thing. So, like, you're like, we talk about we wanna work in alignment with ourselves. We wanna balance out the chakras. Asatar and I might have some time to get into this today. We haven't been able to talk about it yet, but all the chakras are linked with other chakras, and it's really very much a balancing act. And so we're covering each one because we want to try to hit home with you. Like, are you having trouble having pleasure in your life? Are you like, actually, I have so much of this energy. How do I balance that out? Right. And so maybe you need to go more in the third chakra energy, like more of the solar plexus energy, and, go back to last week. But the point is like you want these systems to all harmonize and work together. But what happens to us most of the time is there's either blocks or some kind of like gaping like
Some kind of wound.
opening that's too much. Yeah, some kind of wound there. So and that's what we're trying to kind of make sure to cover with each week.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because I mean, a lot of people are wounded in one way or another in this center, right? I mean, like,
Big time.
sexual abuse is like incredibly common, right? I mean, like,
Yeah,
so, and this creates lasting wounds, right? I mean, like, and you
yeah.
feel that like emotionally, and mentally, and it gets energetic, like so.
Mhm.
You know, this is some of the stuff that might come up, like as you tune into this, right? You might
Yeah,
experience the pain of that wound. I mean, this is what
yeah.
happens when you breathe into your heart, right? Um, you're going to feel what's there. So, and every time you feel it, right, you might just say, oh, that sucks, right? I don't like that, right? I thought this was all about pleasure. No, I'm feeling a lot of pain right now. That
Right.
might happen, right? That might happen.
Mhm.
Every time you breathe into that, you're healing it, I mean, and you might
Mhm.
feel a lot of it. That's
Mhm.
very common, right?
Yeah,
Just keep that in mind, right? As you connect to it, as you bring it up, as you make it conscious, you're healing it.
absolutely. Absolutely. And you just step out anytime you need to, like it's just like yoga. If I'm in a posture and it's uncomfortable, I'm going to breathe into it. But if I'm in a posture and I have pain, back out. Like that is, you listen to your body. You got to honor your body, you
And I hope
know?
nobody thinks
So,
that we're saying meditation is the only thing that anyone ever needs. We're
no.
not saying that, right? I mean, we're just saying, this can be helpful, right?
Right.
So, you know,
Yeah.
don't shy away from other kinds of help, though, right? I mean, like that's
Mhm.
whatever's helpful, do it, right? So
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and.
yes, and exactly.
Okay. Okay. All right, let's meditate. Goodness. Let's see here. I gotta stretch a little bit. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I
Okay.
do too. Yeah, that feels good.
Calm down.
My
You
back.
listen. Yeah. Oh, okay. Feels so good. I'm not even directing anyone. Just
Everyone, do
being super.
it.
Do you. I'll do.
He's doing
All
amazing
right.
stretching.
Just like, okay. Oh man. All right, everybody. When you're ready, find your favorite way of sitting. And you know what? Move your body. So look at how I'm moving. I'm moving my shoulders and my hips. Move your body.
Still feels
Do
good about
just a few deep breaths. Yeah, it feels good. Yeah, move your body. Okay. And then when you're ready, go ahead and slow that down and close your eyes and come into your central line. I'm going to just start us right off with the water breath. We're going to do the water breath the whole time. So, water breath is inhaling through your nose and exhaling out of your mouth. In through the nose and out through your mouth. This is the water breath. Water element is connected with the second center, with the sexual center. There's a lot of fluidity with creativity. And it's connected very much with the love, and the energy of water is the love. And every time you take a breath, you want to have a deep, full breath. With your practice, you're going to end up being able to inhale for the same count of heartbeats as you exhale for. But just do your best tonight to feel that internal rhythm of your heartbeat as you inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth. And especially on your exhalation, follow your breath all the way down your body and really feel as though energy is riding on your breath, moving down through your system, down through your chakras, all the way to your second chakra, all the way to your organs that are for proliferation, that are for creative self-expression, and that holds this extraordinary power to procreate. And there's a lot of different forms of that. Becoming a parent, that's one form. But it's definitely not the only one. There are infinite possibilities with creative self-expression. And so as you breathe into this center, just start to feel how much power, how much holding power it actually has. And just imagine your breath as a river, as this constant stream, and this constant stream of energy that is moving right through your sexual center every breath that you take. And it's this constant river that never ends. It's easy to think about the abundance of life when you sit in front of, in, or next to a river. The water just keeps coming endlessly, or as long as we can sit there, it just flows. There's so much life that wants to live through you. There is such an abundance of life. And it wants to live within you. It wants to be experienced from you. Even you experiencing love, even you experiencing joy, it can be anger, even like you experiencing life is life living through you, is the abundance of life living through you. That is a form of creation because energy is coming into the creative form, into you. You are some form of creation. You are a form of creation in and of yourself. Every time you experience love, joy, pleasure, abundance, even darkness, all of it, that is being experienced through you and coming into the creative form. So it's not something you have to, what I'm trying to say here, this isn't something where it's like you have to earn it. It's not something where you have to work for it. It's something that's always there. And all you have to do is open up to it. Life, the energy of life. And you can do that right now with a deep, full breath. And every time that you inhale through your nose and exhale out of your mouth, feel the energy on your breath. And imagine, but try to feel it more on your breath. But imagine that your breath contains this energy of water like a river, that it's just washing right through your second center, your sacral center, washing right through, allowing everything to open and move and dance. And just really try to feel your energy move into your lower body. So, most of the time, our energy, like I was saying before, it's in our head. Try to actually feel how, with your own breath, you can almost harness energy to be more grounded in your system. You can hear how my voice is different right now, right? It's because I'm speaking from a different part of my body. Let yourself sink into yourself. Don't be afraid of life being messy. Don't be afraid of fucking it all up, honestly. Let yourself be free to create. Keep moving that breath right through, like a river, right through the second center, through your second center. And as you do that, I don't necessarily want you to think about this, but I just want you to open up to the possibility of all that you want to create. You, like I said, part of creativity is in your own character. your own personality. There is an art to being you as an individual. That's your closest art form. And you don't get just one color, you get the full spectrum. You get all the chakras, not just one. So even though we have these limitations, even though we're gonna fuck it up, it doesn't matter. Just play and have fun. Who do you want to be, right? What do you want to create? Life is abundant, and the energy of life is like that river, ever flowing, placing that energy onto your breath. You can, when you inhale through your nose, you can even imagine that the river water, that you're sitting in the river water and it's coming all the way to that lumbar spine, the, the sacrum, and the back body. When you exhale out your mouth, I would just let that energy go down and through, really seeing how your breath interacts with your own physical body, feeling that connection. And for a few more breaths like that, really imagine that that river, this endless stream of life. Every time you inhale, bringing that endless stream of life into the back of the lumbar spine, the sacrum. And as you exhale, just let the energy wash right through your sexual center, really allowing that abundance of life to just really move through that chakra. And you don't know what's going to happen from a result of your meditations. There's a bit of a this kind of trust, and that's how it is in nature too. You know, when we sit in nature, we don't have control. We're not controlling anything. We're just almost absorbing what's going on. So you have to trust yourself in order to drop into these lower parts of your body, into these lower chakras. Trust yourself and just let yourself drop in. Because the abundance of life wants to move toward you just as much as you want it to come toward you. The abundance of life wants to live inside and through you. It wants to, it longs to, just like you long for it. If you hit the mud, keep breathing and trust that that means you're super close to hitting the stream of love, the stream of pure water, pure love. Okay, you playful creature. When you're ready, move your body and open up your eyes.
I love the emphasis that you brought on playfulness and curiosity, and that's a wonderful way of like relating to all this, right? Like, um,
Mm,
it doesn't have to be serious, like,
yeah.
it's part of fun, like that's can we just allow ourselves to have fun,
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of funny because like people used to say they'd be like, "What are you into?" And I'm like, "Yoga and meditation." And they're like, "Okay, well, what do you do for fun?" I'm like, "That is
That's
that
it,
is what
baby.
I do for fun."
There are some
Ah.
things that you have to kind of get sort of good at before it's fun, you know?
Yeah, yeah. But we all have, like, our inclinations, like, what actually naturally wants to, like, create itself through us, right? We all have our
Yeah.
inclinations of what that is.
I thought of this
Mm.
story, well, this thing that happened to me while we were in the meditation, so I'll tell this quick story. Um,
Yeah.
I was on an airplane, and I was, the, like, drinks cart was coming around, right? And they're sort of, like, asking you what you want. Everyone's, like, wearing a mask, right? So it's sort of hard to, like, a little bit harder to communicate or whatever. And, so I tell the flight attendant, who had sort of caught my eye before because she had, like, beautiful white hair, and so,
Mm.
like, I have sort of an eye for that, so I was like, "Wow," like, and but, was young looking, like myself, right? So and so, she goes, "What do you have?" And I tell her, and she goes, "Ooh, that sounds so good," like that. And, like, that's kind of the energy that we're talking about here, right? And even the
Yeah.
sound, right? The sound, "Ooh,
Mm. Mm.
ooh,
Yes.
ah," right?
Yes.
So, like, we do have sound practices that work with the center, right? And that
Mm.
involve those sounds, in fact, right?
Yep.
The wazifa is ya, mu, yi, right? So it's got ah,
Mm.
and ooh, and e, and right? So, I
And
mean,
that
it's interesting how, like, the energies come out, right? Like, when you make these
Mhm.
sounds, like, that there's a lot of
Mhm.
different ways of, like, bringing forth, this kinda energy. Um, but here we are toward the end of our show this evening. So I just wanna note, thank you to everyone who supports the show on
Yeah.
Patreon. If you're interested in supporting that, the link is in the description. Um, and we always love to see our fans live here. The show is recorded, of
Mhm.
course, so you can access it afterwards. Leah, do you have any final words for our viewers here?
Just play and have fun. And please reach out to Asatar or I if you would like any help with any of the chakras.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we will be here
Mhm.
next week.
Yes.
See see you all then.
The last chakra is next week.
The root chakra, right? The
The
sense
root
of
chakra.
safety and home and belonging. A lot of good things here.
Mhm.
Maybe it doesn't have the same level of excitement that we brought this class, but necessary, very necessary.
Boring. No, just joking. No, we're gonna get to the root. We're gonna get to the root. That's actually a
These the
good
root
one.
things, exactly.
Lots of stuff
Gotta
in
get there.
there. Lots of stuff in there. Everyone, join us so that you don't have to do it alone.
You're never alone, because our vibes
Yeah.
with
Right, 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 right. All
all
right,
right. Good
vibes, everyone.
night, everyone. Take
Good
care.
night.